I remember thinking that me breaking my leg would be the worst thing that happened to me in 2021. I was wrong. This is a story about a girl who got her face bashed in and teeth knocked out, and then posted about it online, and everyone judged her without even thinking about what might have possibly been going on outside of the context of a 6-second video.
Skater died. Oh no, you literally became that sticker for roller coaster.
I hit my face onto a transition and my teeth were left in that skate park, and I am more emotionally damaged by the way people are talking to me following, or they're saying things that is really creating hurt or hurting you. You reserve the right to delete comments. Blocking is a healthy boundary that people can set. Hey everybody, this is Rebel from queergirlstraightskates. You might be wondering what happened to my mouth. Well, today I'm going to tell you the whole story of what happened to my teeth and the events of the last 4 days, and just kind of give it to you straight because a lot of people have been asking questions and I wanted to just give all the information that I have. So let's start at the beginning. I was on a road trip to San Francisco with Shove, and we decided to stop halfway and stay with a friend for a couple of nights. And with that friend and a couple of other people, we went to a skate park. And when we were at the skate park, I went to drop in, and first I looked around to see if anyone was about to drop in. No one was about to drop in. I waited a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop in. So I waved to indicate that I was dropping in, and then I stepped up to the coping, and then I looked around and I made eye contact with all the skateboarders that were there, and then I dropped in. And when I dropped in, after I was already into the transition, another skateboarder who was on the other side dropped right in onto where I was at, and then he jumped off of his board, and his board tripped me, and then also his foot tripped me because he had jumped off of his board. So then since I was coming at him, I had like a split second to try and divert myself, but the way I was dropping in was I was dropping in because I was going to slide on the coping, so I was angled towards that direction, so I was having a really hard time veering off in that split second. And so when his foot tripped me, then I face planted into the side of the transition. I hit my head. I was luckily wearing a helmet, and that stopped me from getting a very bad concussion. My face went right into the transition. I hit my nose and my teeth literally stuck into the transition. I felt like time completely stopped. It was very, very, very painful. I just remember hearing my friend say, "Rebel, breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out." And I came up and I felt like I had broken my whole face. It felt like everything on my face was broken. My mouth was filled with blood and wood chips. My teeth were stuck in the transition in the wood, and I wasn't sure if I had broken my jaw or my nose, or just all of my teeth were gone. I didn't know what happened. And they got me up, and then they took me to the emergency room, which was about 20 minutes away. And then at the emergency room, they kind of just told me hey, your jaw isn't broken. It doesn't seem like your jaw is broken. It doesn't seem like your nose is broken. You're just going to have to go to the dentist because your teeth are shattered. And I had seen my teeth when I first looked in the mirror in the car, and I had been crying, and it was very devastating and also simultaneously like very, very painful. So then we called every single dentist we could find in the area, and absolutely none were open. One, because it was a Friday and it was like after 5 or 6 p.m. and two, because it was a holiday weekend. So I decided, like, I guess we'll just go home and I will just have to wait this one out. So I posted a video on Instagram. I posted a short reel being like, hey, like, I got my teeth smashed in, like, someone snaked me, like, this happened at the skate park. Like, just like kind of, this is what's going on with me, just to kind of give people information. And just, I post everything about my skate journey, and I'm very real about injuries and stuff like that. And so I wanted to make sure I had that online. So I put it out there, and then I had an influx of support that poured out for me, and a lot of people were like sending me nice messages and sending me money to help pay for my teeth being fixed, because dental work is like just incredibly expensive. And then the next day we called a bunch more dentists, and none of them were open. And so we were just kind of like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to get to a dentist. Like, no one's open because of this holiday weekend. Yeah, so we decided to just push through and wait until I got home. I couldn't eat anything for the entirety of the time that the whole first day I couldn't eat absolutely anything. Like, I tried sipping on some broth, but like I couldn't get anything because my teeth are loose and they're also like all jagged, so I can't completely close my mouth, and I have like exposed nerves, and so everything, like even like breathing hurts, and like putting anything in my mouth is extremely painful. And so I wasn't able to eat, and I wasn't able to sleep because I was in so much pain, and also I was really hungry, and then I was incredibly dehydrated. And so it was just like not a good time to be me. And then yeah, the next day I think I was able to eat like 10 fries, and it was by like smushing them up in my hand like it was baby food, and like putting it in the back of my mouth. So it was miserable. And because like the ER they didn't give me pain meds, and so I was just kind of like stealing some of Shov's, and yeah, so it was just like a mess. So we decided to hold off on the dentist because we just couldn't find a dentist. So I was just miserable, and we were on vacation. We were like on our anniversary trip, and so it was just like the worst possible scenario. By the next day, I'd had a lot of people messaging me like, hey, what is snaking? What is snaking? What is snaking? And so I kept like copying and pasting the same answer, but I was getting like, I probably had like 50-ish messages asking me what's snaking. Like, I had a lot of people asking me like, what is snaking? So I just decided, okay, hey, you know what, like, this sucks, I'm in a lot of pain, like, this is a horrible situation, but I'm gonna use this as like a teaching opportunity. So I figured I would use the green screen and show the video that Shove had caught of me dropping in and this thing happening, to like show as a teaching moment, to be like, hey, like, this is what snaking is. Like, it's really important to be aware when you're at the skate park, because if you're not aware, like, really bad things can happen. Like, I am in miserable, horrible pain right now, and it's because of a snaking situation. So let's try and not snake. Like, that was my whole goal with posting this reel. So I did it with a green screen and like showed the video, and I tried to cover up the kid as much as I could when I was like showing the video, and his face was there for like 2 seconds in the video, and I posted it, and it was just me being like, hey, like, this is snaking, and like, don't do this because it could really end up with someone being hurt. And so once I posted it, I got a huge amount of hate, like just a crap ton of people being like, how could you post this? That's a minor. Like, people are gonna find him and they're gonna start bullying him and you're gonna expose like him to the whole world. Someone said that I was gonna get him sex trafficked. People were telling me that it wasn't snaking and that it was just an accident and that I was at blame. A lot of people were saying that I was at blame. And the thing is that the video itself shows 6 seconds of the whole interaction. And this 6-second clip doesn't show that, one, that I like waved and was like, hey, I'm gonna go. It doesn't show that I like made eye contact with the skaters that were there and indicated that I was gonna drop in. It also doesn't show that this kid had already done 2 back-to-back runs. And so like you normally only do 1 run. Like, you don't normally go back to back. So I definitely didn't think he was going to take a 3rd run when there are lots of skateboarders there, and other skaters. And so I then dropped into the ramp. And so what you see in the video is you see me dropping in, and yes, you do see me looking at my feet because I need to still look at my feet before I drop in. And that's a normal thing for a skater to need to do, to look at their feet. So I had a lot of people saying like, oh, Rebel wasn't being aware, or oh, if Rebel just looked up, she would have seen that that kid was like lined up with his board. But the thing is that I had been looking up and looking around, but I'm not gonna fight with people on the internet, so instead of commenting all of that there, I'm saying it here. So yeah, so that went up, and for the entirety of our vacation, so for the last 3 days, I have just had an extreme amount of people telling me how messed up it is that I posted that I should have blurred out the kid's face, that I was completely at fault, and that as an adult it was my responsibility to know what was going on, that I was ruining this kid's life, that I deserved to have my teeth knocked out. And then also because I started trying to delete comments, because what I realized is that if people are watching this video and your first response isn't, how is Rebel doing? Is she okay? Oh my God. Then like, I don't want you to have access to my personal profile. Like, my Instagram is a personal profile, and so I started blocking people, because blocking is a healthy boundary that people can set to stop other people from being able to have access to them. And I started getting a lot of hate for blocking people and deleting comments. A lot of people were saying that I was just blocking everyone who didn't agree with me, and then leaving comments saying that the kid should be hurt, and that is not true. There were over 400 comments on that post, and I was trying to go through and delete as many of them as I possibly could. But one, I was freaking traumatized. I still had massive headaches for the following 2 days from hitting my head. I still was in extreme pain coming from my mouth and the rest of my body. I couldn't eat, so I still hadn't eaten for like 48 hours following, and I couldn't shut my mouth without extreme pain shooting down my whole spine. So I was kind of focused on that, and then also trying not to ruin our anniversary trip. And so I didn't have the energy or the time or the ability to really comb through every single comment and delete all the ones that were problematic. Although I did try my best to do that, because I don't think that anyone should be wishing harm upon this kid. Like, I don't care. Like, I was just explaining that this kid, like, he just did something that happens a lot at the skate park, actually, and we all are sometimes guilty of doing this. Like, a lot of people are guilty of snaking. I've snaked people before, and it doesn't have to be on purpose. Like, it could be on accident. It's still snaking, and it's just a very dangerous thing. And so it's something that we all should learn how to not do, is we should not snake people. So yeah, so it was really overwhelming. And I learned that a lot of people who follow me literally don't care about me. And, you know, that was fine. Like, I guess it's fine. Like, you can't be friends with everyone who follows you, but it also was really hard to experience the harshness of like having people not care about your experience at all and claim that they know everything about what happened even though they literally were not there. Like, people were saying, according to this video, y'all dropped in at the same time, and it's like, one, no, that's not true. And two, you don't know the backstory because you weren't there. And there are multiple people who will corroborate my story. And so, yeah, so it's been just a little rough on this end. It sucks to be so traumatized by having something happen to you like that, and then to feel even more traumatized by the skate community following what happened. Like, leaving that, I felt more upset about the fact that people were treating me the way that they were treating me than I did about being incredibly in pain, hangry, unable to sleep, and like just overwhelmed. Like, I hit my face onto a transition and my teeth were left in that skate park, and I am more emotionally damaged by the way people are talking to me following. And that is just, we shouldn't treat people like that. Like, I understand that a lot of people were trying to look out for the kid, but the reality of the situation is the video that I posted had all of 2 seconds of the kid's face in it, and he is not recognizable from that video. Social media is an interesting thing, and all of us are learning more and more about it as time goes on. It's becoming more proliferated in our culture. It's becoming more common for people to have a social media than to not have a social media. And so I really think that there's an important discussion here about boundary setting. A lot of times boundary setting is an uncomfortable subject to discuss because boundaries are, one, super hard to set, and two, even harder to like enforce and really make sure you're withholding those boundaries. And oftentimes when you hold a boundary, other people get offended because they don't know how to react to people holding boundaries. When you delete comments and when you block people off of your personal page, if they are creating a space that is harmful to you or harmful to others, or they're saying things that is really creating hurt or hurting you, you reserve the right to delete comments. You reserve the right to block people. This idea that you should be accessible to absolutely everyone just because you put yourself on the internet is ludicrous. You should not have to subject yourself to hate or abuse just because you've decided to put yourself online. You are allowed to protect your space and protect your energy. Now, I think that before we go any further, I need to establish something really important. And that is the difference between this situation and other situations. What I'm not saying when I'm saying that you should delete comments and create boundaries is I'm not saying that you should delete comments and create boundaries that are just protecting yourself from answering to call-outs of racism or call-outs of oppression or call-outs of situations in which you wronged another person. What I am as a person, and with my Instagram page, I am a person, a skater, who got her face bashed in and then posted about it. I am not a Facebook group created for skaters to talk about their experiences and then having their experiences dismissed and deleted. I am not a skate brand who has wronged their customers or has done something rooted in systemic oppression and racism and then deleting comments or turning comments off or ignoring their customers. Like, that is not what is happening. That is very different, and those things need to be addressed. This is not some sort of blanket statement to allow people to ignore call-outs or ignore the part that they play in racism, in systemic oppression, in all of those things. This is, hey, I was hurt really, really, really badly. Really badly. And then other people came and they tried to hurt me worse. And I needed to protect my space. Now, I know that there's probably some of you out there watching this who are people that I blocked. And I'm not naive enough to know that you wouldn't find me on my other social medias. Like, that's not the point of me blocking you on Instagram. When I was blocking you, I blocked you for a reason. And that was a boundary setting for myself. A lot of people have gotten really angry after being blocked by me or having their comments deleted. Some people, I know about this because people have messaged me, people have screenshotted me, some people have been tagging Shove. Like, it's pretty obvious what's happening. And a lot of people are saying things like, oh, I only blocked people of color, or I only blocked people who disagreed with me, and that's 100% not true. I blocked anyone who said anything negative, and I deleted as many comments as I could get to of the people who said anything that was enacting harm against the kid, because that is not what I want, or trying to victim blame me, which there was a lot of that happening from people who were not there and did not have the context to be commenting or insinuating anything. And it was me protecting my space. You need to remember that I am a human being and I have feelings. And a lot of people think that once you have a certain number of followers that you like stop being a regular human and you have to like live to this like influencer level. But in reality, like, I'm a human being who, one, hurts when her face gets smashed into a wall, and two, has certain feelings about people victim blaming her about that, and also doesn't want any harm to be caused to me or other people in my life or anyone involved in the scenario. So I blocked as many people and deleted as many comments as I could, but guess what? There were over 400 on there. So if your comment happened to be deleted before someone else did, you got blocked. You couldn't see the post that I went through as much of it as I could and deleted that. I'm sorry that you don't have all the information, but when you get mad that I set a boundary, all that's doing is demonstrating that you can't respect other people's boundaries. And it's really important that you respect other people's boundaries, not just in social media, but also in life. Remember that we are people, even if we are on the internet, and we're allowed to set boundaries, which means I'm allowed to set boundaries. And I'm sorry if this isn't a fun conversation to be having. And I'm sorry if you see me in a different light now because you realize that I'm not just the like, oh, fun, skating all the time. Like, yeah, I'm an actual person who has actual feelings, and you need to know that about me. Obviously, when I say these things, I'm not saying that everyone did this to me. There were a lot of people that supported me, and I'm really, really grateful. And also, not everyone that I blocked and deleted their comments were incredibly spiteful comments. Honestly, there were some people that were being really spiteful, and anyone who liked their comments, I just blocked and deleted them, because if anyone was agreeing with their spiteful comments, I didn't want them on my page. And so I know quite a few people were confused because the comment that they made, they were like, why would Rebel delete this? It clearly wasn't doing anything. But that actually wasn't why you got blocked. Why you got blocked was because you supported another person who was being spiteful towards me. There's a weird idea that, like, because so many of us are on the internet and because we put ourselves out there on the internet and with social media profiles, that everyone should and deserves access to everyone's personal life. And that is a myth. Just because a person is on the internet does not necessarily mean that you have the right to access them and to access their information and their life. So remember that the things you say to people, like, it might impact them in the negative way, and then they might say, hey, you know what? I don't want your energy around me. And that is the right of that person. So when you say something to someone else, even if you're like, that wasn't that bad, or how does that deserve blocking? Being blocked is just a boundary being set. It's not saying like, hey, you're a bad person. It just means that that person doesn't want that energy, your energy, around them. That's what blocking is. Also, if you're out there and you're a person who has experienced something like what I've experienced, or maybe it's something completely different, and you felt attacked on your own page and you didn't know how to deal with it, I want you to feel empowered to block people. Like, feel empowered to block others and to delete comments and to protect your space on the internet. Because I know that I feel this weird obligation to just like let people come at me and attack me, and to be honest, like, I don't deserve that. And I did nothing wrong in this situation. And yet I had a cacophony of people coming at me, acting like I did something wrong, telling me all sorts of mean stuff directly in my DMs and in my comments. And I'm sorry, but I don't deserve that. So I deleted and I blocked. And you should too. And I don't want you to think that everyone is being negative. Honestly, there were so many people outpouring love and support, and it was really awesome to feel that. And especially once I started putting up like, hey, like, I need to set some boundaries. I don't know what's going on, but y'all are coming at me so strong. And a lot of people were bandwagoning on this hate like train that was going on, and I had a lot of people really supporting me and really showing me that they cared about me. And if you were one of those people, I'm so grateful to you, because you literally helped me to get through this weekend without crying more than I was smiling. And it was really, really freaking hard, and you helped support me, and I'm really grateful for that. And my journey is not over. Like, as you can see, my teeth are still messed up, and with me talking, like, me talking hurts. Like, making this video does not feel good. I don't want to be making this video right now, but I felt like I had to. And the reason why I felt like I had to is because I know that I can't possibly be the only one to experience this. And I know that I'm not the only person to have had a bunch of people come after me in a wild way, and to feel completely lost in that moment. And so I'm here to empower you. Another thing that I found out when going through my messages and all of that was that there are actually a lot of skaters that have had their teeth bashed in because of snaking. Like, I had at least 10 people message me and tell me that they've had the same experience that I've had, but they just didn't happen to have it on video, or they didn't really know what to talk about it, or they were embarrassed or anything like that. And so this is a thing that really happens. And so I want to bring awareness to the fact that snaking is incredibly dangerous and can really mess up your life. Like, my dental bill, like, teeth are expensive. Like, this is not going to be a cheap fix. And yes, when you're going to the skate park, you are taking the responsibility that, like, if you get hurt, it's your responsibility to deal with it. And that's fine. Like, I'm not complaining about that. I'm not over here trying to sue anyone, like people were insinuating in the comments. I don't want anyone to go after this kid. Like, that is not my intention at all. I just want to tell you that, like, one, being at the skate park is dangerous. Something that you probably already know from seeing me break my leg. But two, that snaking is a thing at the skate park that is incredibly dangerous as well, and that we should all learn skate park etiquette, because skate park etiquette is what prevents a lot of easily avoidable injuries from happening. So I'm about to show you the video of what happened. And before I show you this video, one, I want you to know that I do not want anyone in the comments or just in life or anything hating on this kid. Like, it was clearly an accident. Like, he didn't intend to hurt me. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because I need you to know what could potentially happen at the skate park and the dangers that exist with snaking. I think it's really important that yeah, it sucks that this kid was old enough to be aware and pay attention, but he didn't. But that could just as easily happen with any beginner skater. And so it's really important to know what snaking is so you stop yourself from doing it. And if you're a parent out there who has a kid who's a skater, please teach them what snaking is. And also, please teach them how to be aware of other people at the park when they're skating. So again, I will tolerate absolutely no hate towards this kid. I just want to show you this video so that you can see what it is exactly that happened and have a visual so you can understand. Thanks so much for watching this video. It was really hard for me to make. I knew I needed to make it because there were a lot of questions that I needed to answer. As you can probably guess, this is not going to be something that is cheap for me to fix. I'm going to be going to the dentist tomorrow, and so if you want to support me, one way you can support me is by going to my shop. That will help me pay off these dentist bills. And yeah, that's about it. Cheers to the queers.